Hello, in this video we are going to create a Flappy Bird game, and I'm going to create that as fast as possible. So we don't have any menu scenes and we don't have any death animation. I'm just going to create a Flappy Bird game that is working, and we are going to use it later for creating a bird that can fly through the tubes with the neural network. Okay, so here I have created a very simple Godot project. In the bird folder I have 4 textures, okay, that are each frame of the bird that is flying, and I have a texture of tube, and this is all I have in this folder. Okay, let's going to start to create it. Okay, so here in the bird folder I just create Aria 2D. So my bird has a base node of the Aria 2D. Okay, and I call it bird and just add an animated sprite. So animated sprite, and here I will put all of this frame of bird. So new animated sprite, I'm going to create here open and bird. So I put this 4 here and play. That's it. So as you can see, my bird is moving its wings. So I save that in bird. Okay, and then I'm creating the collision and box. I choose a box, this one. All right, so that is good, very good. So I have my bird. So now I'm just adding code to it. So the thing that's happening, the bird does not move at all. So the things that moving in our scene are the tubes. So the tube are moving from right to left, and my bird has a fixed position. Okay, so I just delete this, and I want to introduce some constant. One of them is gravity. Gravity I will put 1000, and the other one is jump speed. Jump speed is going to be equal to 400. Okay, and then I'm going to add some variables. One of them is jump. I will put it equal to 0. And if this is going to be greater than half, if greater than half, jump, else not jump. So this is the variable of jump. Okay, so another variable called the velocity, it is 0, and remember we have only velocity in y direction, no x direction. Okay, only y direction, so only in y direction. Okay, and other things that we need are is die. At the start is going to be false, so we have that, and we have a signal called die. So each time that each bird is going to die is going to emit a signal. Very good. So let's write the function of physic process. So function physic process. Okay, in physic process what I'm going to do, I'm going to say velocity is equal to gravity times delta. Okay, delta times delta. So this is going to bring the birds down. If jump is greater than half, okay, if jump is greater than half, I'm going to take back jump to 0, and what I'm going to do is going to put the velocity to minus jump speed. Alright, and then I'm going to say position is plus equal to, and we only move the position y position, so position dot y is equal to velocity times delta. Alright, So let's see how does it look. So as you can see, my bird is falling, and we need to adjust the things for the die. So here I will create a function called die. So function die. So if you call this function, the bird would be die. And what it's going to do is first going to check if the bird is already dead or not. So if is die is false. So we check if the bird is already there or not. And then I'm going to say is die is true. So it's going to die once. Nobody died twice. Is die is going to be true. Very good. And I'm going to turn off the visibility. Visibility is going to be false. And we are going to emit the signal of die. And I'm going to set the physic process to false. Set the physic process to false. So it's going to stop this function to run. Very good. And here also I add a signal. Okay, where is yours? Okay, I add a signal called aria inter. So later I'm going to add tubes, which tubes are aria 2D. So I'm going to add this and this. So I'm going to add the tube to a group that is called a tube. So I would say if aria is in group tube, then run the function of die. So now if our bird is collide with the tube, it's going to die. But if our bird is collide with other birds, it's not going to die because the bird is not in the group of tube. Very good. So here also I should say if my bird is go out of the screen, please kill the bird. Okay. So I would say if global position dot y is less than 0, so it's minus, or global position dot y is greater than get viewport rect dot size dot y. If this happening, this is the viewport size actually, this is the bottom of the screen. So this is happening, just kill the bird. So up to this point this is good. And come to this project setting in window here, and here come to the bottom, and here I will say 2D and I will say keep. Okay, very good. So I'm just adding an input key, input map, just add jump, add, and I will say space, for example. Right now we want to control our bird with keyboard, and later we are going to control our bird with the neural network. But right now we want to test that, and we want to test it with the keyboard. So, and here I just create a function, just call it get input from key, and in the function I would say if input dot is action pressed jump, then I will say jump is going to be 1. So we have jump in that case. Otherwise put jump to 0. So let's test that. Get input from key. I will put it up here, and later we are going to comment this out and use our neural network controlling system, like this. Okay. So it's get out of the screen and it's dead. So let's try it. So as you can see, and as it get out of the screen, it's going to die. Very good. So our bird is complete, and now going to create our tubes. I'm just going to create a 2D node and call it tube. So 2D node, this tube also has a root, so I will add another node that is called root. So let's save it in tube folder, tube scene, very good. So tube has two parts. It has the top part and it has the bottom part. We are going to create each one separately. So I will add area 2D. I will call this top, and I duplicate that, and I will call this bottom. Very good. So in top, I will add this, this one. Okay, and transform. Put this 0 and 0, and offset center, just turn it off, and in scale put -1. Very good. Okay, and just in x direction I'm going to put like -50 or maybe -55. That is good. Very good. So we are going to create another one in here, so I'm going to duplicate that and put it here, and just in transform I just put it 1. So we have these two tubes. I just call this S, and I call this S. Okay, everything else is done by code. So in tube I just create a script, and I'm going to delete all of this. I'm just going to insert a variable called gap, which is equal to 200, and I will create another variable called is the active. It's going to be false, and I will introduce a signal called deactive. So the thing is working like this. As soon as this tube is going to pass the bird, is going to be deactive. All right. So we are going to deactivate, and we are going to send a signal called deactive. You will see how does it work later. Very good. So I will create a function called ready, and what I'm doing now, I'm calling the randomize because we need the random number, and I would say that root top, so this section, it should move up half of the gap. Okay, so should say that position dot y going to equal to minus gap divided by 2, and this one should move to the bottom of the screen also half of the gap. So I would say root bottom dot position dot y is equal to gap divided by 2. So let's see how does it work. So as you can see, it's going to move this one down and this one up, which we cannot see. And what we are going to do, we are going to move the root, okay, randomly in our screen. So we are going to say root dot position dot y is equal to rand range. It's going to be gap divided by 2, and at the end of the screen, which is get viewport rect dot size dot y, actually minus gap divided by 2. So each time I'm going to run this, it's going to move it randomly in my screen. As you can see, it's working. Yeah, it's working. So this is going to be okay. And the last thing that we should do we should to move this by a speed to the left. So I would say var speed is equal to 120, for example. Okay, and we write a process function physic process position dot x minus equal speed times delta. So this is going to move our tube to the left. So we cannot see that anymore. As you can see, it's moved to the left. Good. So the next thing that we should do, we are going to create an object that is going to spawn this tube at the right side of our screen, and this tube are going to move to the left automatically. So I will call this spawn. Okay, I will save it in another folder called spawn. Save this here, and I create a GD script for that. So what this is going to do is going to spawn this tube each 1 second, 2 seconds, or 3 seconds. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a timer here. So I'm going to create a timer, and this timer determines how fast we should spawn. So in here I just put it in 1 second or maybe 3 seconds. Okay, it's going to start automatically, and the one shot should be turned off, not be on. Okay, and here I will say timeout to the spawn. So each time this one timer timeout function is called, we are going to spawn a tube at the right hand side of the screen. Okay. And here I will also introduce another variable called export var spawn time, and I'm put it 3 and add in the ready function I will say timer dot wait time is going to be spawn time. Okay. So in this function, I'm going to create the tube. So what I need here is this. So I need the tube resource. So var tube resource is going to be preload, this one, and here I just say var tube is equal to tube resource dot instance. So I instance the tube, and then I'm going to say tube dot global position dot x is equal to get viewport rect dot size dot y plus maybe 50, because I want to spawn outside of the screen. Okay, very good. I'm going to add child tube. Okay, what else I need? I just need to register all of this tube somewhere. So in here I will create another variable called tubes, which is an array, and I would add to this array this tube. So I will say tubes dot append. So I create a main scene. So we'll call it main. Okay, I will save it here. And in main, I just spawn and I just import my bird. Very good. I will create another 2D node here, and I'll call birds, and all of the birds are going to be under this one. So I just move this bird here. I will just move this bird, for example, position x would be 100 maybe, or 150. Very good. And this is going to be 200. That is good. That is good. Let's run it. So let's see. Okay. That's not working very well. Oh, so we should put this X, not Y. And we're going back to main. So the thing is happening that it's not going to spawn the tube immediately. It's going to wait 3 seconds, and after that it's going to spawn the first tube. So we are going to fix that. So in here, in ready function, just copy this and put in ready function. So it's going to spawn immediately after, and after 3 seconds also it's going to spawn another tube. And the other things that we are going to do in the tube here, just add this to the group of the tube. This one and this one, and we are also going to add the collision shape for that. Okay, that's good. Yeah, and get that here. Very good. This way, when the bird is colliding to the tube, is going to die. So let's test that. So it's going to spawn the tube immediately after we run the game. And oh my god, let's test it another time. So as you can see, the bird is dying. So that is working. So another functionality that I want to add is that when the bird is going to die, we are going to be able to reset the game. Okay. So here I will go to the spawn, and here we need to add two functions. One of them is called start, and one other is called stop. So the function stop is going to delete all of the tube that exist here, and it's going to stop the timer, and this one is going to start the timer. So for being able to delete all of the tubes, what I want to do, I want to be able to detect that if this child here is a tube or not. So I'm going to tube, and at the main root, okay, to a group that is called tube root. Okay, save it and come back here, and here we will say for t in get children, if t is in group tube root, then we are going to query that, because we don't want to query the timer. Okay, we want to only query the tube that is added here under the spawn. Very good. And then we are going to stop the timer. And set these tubes to an empty array. I will explain why we need to this array later. Just right now we have it. Okay. And here I'm going to start the timer. Start. And here I'm going to actually run this so we don't wait 3 seconds to add one. Okay. So this is the stop function, and this is the start function. Now we go back to the main, and in here I just connect this signal of die to main, and here I will say spawn dot stop. So this will delete all of the tubes, and it's going to stop the timer. And here I will delete this bird and add another bird. So for that I need the bird resource. So I will say run bird resource is equal to preload, and that's it. So I will say birds dot get child 0 the query. And then here we're going to add a new bird. So bird resource instance, and here I will say birds child b, and then we are going to connect the die signal to this function again. So we say connect die self on bird die. So actually in next video we are going to add multiple birds here, okay? And when all of the bird is going to die, we are going to stop the spawn and start it again. And this function is just for testing, and we are going to delete that in the next video. Very good. Let's test that. So this is my bird, and if I die, it's going to restart. Well, okay, I did not call the start, so we'll call spawn dot start. So let's see. So I will go die, as you can see, it's going to restart and it's going to create another bird. Very good. Okay, up to this point everything is working, and this Flappy Bird is working. Of course, if you follow this tutorial, you can make better Flappy Bird game and maybe add some background to it, or maybe add a menu screen or something else. But what we are going to do, in the next video, we are going to add some other functionality, okay, that we are able to give the information of the next tube that are approaching to the Flappy Bird. And after that, we are going to actually let that run each Flappy Bird by a neural network, and then we are going to train that neural network to choose the best Flappy Bird that can fly through this tube. Have a good time till the next video. Bye.